Hello, welcome to a new episode of Cultural Magazine. We have a lot in store for you in this episode. Hope you enjoy it, and let's take a look at what we have in store.
The Ministry of Culture continues with its artistic and documentary presentations on YouTube channel. Various creative materials on Cultural YouTube, including documentary films, rare plays, children's shows, concerts, and a cultural salon are in YouTube. In the interest of constant communication with the audience, the Ministry of Culture broadcasts through its channel on the YouTube a series of cultural artistic events that last through the week continuously and aims to spread awareness and raise the taste artistic, where it begins with an artistic celebration in which 5 of the stars of the Egyptian singing are performing, like Ahmed Saad, Ahmed Gamal, May Farouk, Mohammed Al-Sharnoubi, and Riham Abdel Hakim. In addition to this, a concert by the stars Hani Shaker and Medhat Saleh took place.
من أول ما شفت عيونه أنا قلت الليالي يهونوا يهونوا تحمي السما وتصونه تصونه تحمي السما وتصونه تصونه أنا شفت اللي مستنيني وعرفت اللي هيهنيني أنا شفت اللي مستنيني وعرفت اللي هيهنيني من أول ما بان لعيوني الحلوة يا عيني بحر من الحنان من الحنان.
Also, a number of plays were represented. Among them was Issibensa, written by Sa'd-Din Wahba and directed by Saad Ardash, starring Samiha Ayoub, Fardoos Hassan, and Ahmed El-Ghazayirli.
والله يا سعادة الباشا في هنا عسكري شاطر قوي. ده هو اللي اكتشف القنبله وانقذ العالم ده كله من الهلاك كده. لازم سعادتك تلاقيه.
The performances continue with a documentary film about the artist Kamel Yassin, actor Izzat Al-Alayli, and late legend artist Hussein Riyad.
أنا جنبك يا كريم يا رب. ما فرجت أهي، تعال نشوف الصيد وبيبقى. أنا خايف عليك يا بنتي. مانيش عاوزك تموتي بالموتة اللي ماتت بيها أمك. والله ما أنا عارف إيه اللي جرالي النهارده. ما فيناش ننسى.
صلاح الدين يعاملك كما تعودت أن تعامل العزل من رعيته.
Hussein Muhammad Shafiq, more commonly known by his stage name Hussein Riyad, was an Egyptian actor who mainly played dad roles. His career spanned about 46 years and he appeared in approximately 320 films, 240 theater plays, and 150 radio and 50 TV plays. Riyad was born in Sayyida Zainab district of Cairo, Egypt, to an Egyptian father and a Syrian mom. He later changed his name to Hussein Riyad. His brother was into acting too. He was the artist Mohammed Fuad, known by his stage name Fuad Shafiq. In 1916, he quit school to start acting and joined the Arab Acting Institute. By 1923, Riyad worked with Yusuf Wahbi's theatrical troupe as well as other notable actors. Thereafter, in 1926, Riyad started working in silent films.
عاش من شافك يا مختار. من زمان محرومين من الحاجات الحلوة دي.
أهلا حضرة اليوسف.
During his career, Riyad was known as the father of affection in many of his roles and participated in many famous works in the Egyptian cinema. In 1963, he received the Egyptian State Award and Medal of Science and Arts.
أنا ضربتك يا بابا.
أيوة يا بنتي. ضربتيني ضربة وجعتني قوي.
Riyad died on July 17, 1965 of a heart attack. In 2019, his daughter Fatima published a book about his life, acting career and death and dedicated it to all his fans.
أشكركم على نبل إحساسكم وجميل شعوركم.
The Cairo Opera House is a beacon of light for both artists and art lovers. It brings and joins both local and international artists from around the world. Let's go find out more about what the Cairo Opera House has to offer.
Among the opera events comes the Filipino Evening. The Filipino Embassy in Cairo celebrated the 75th anniversary of Egyptian-Filipino relations through the event organized by the Cairo Opera House headed by Dr. Magdi Sober, where a night was held that included colors of local traditional arts and models of folklore belonging to the Asian continent, including the beauty of Filipino music signifying one world and one music. Dressed in traditional Filipino clothes, the performance won the admiration and approval of the audience.
show is actually our third show. So our first show was a fashion show in Four Seasons Hotel in Garden City. Then our second show was in Gomorea Theater. And then now this is an invitation of the Ministry of Culture. So this is our third show. Actually, I'm the head of the Filipino Cultural Group. So like I'm heading the cultural group of the Filipino community in Egypt. Actually, there are very few Egyptians in the Philippines. That's why we want to promote our culture to the Egyptian people. They only know Malaysia, Thailand, but we also have very good like beach resorts. So you have to visit Philippines. The Egyptian-Filipino relation, there are many Filipinas married to Egyptians because they met them in the Gulf region. So now we have a lot of like mixed marriages, and in the arts I would say like Egyptians love the musalsal and Filipinos like television series too. So it's one of the common, we love movies like you love movies, we love singing, we love dancing. I think Egyptians also love singing. Oh, we have a lot of like, yeah, we also have like performing arts in the Philippines. We have Cultural Center of the Philippines. So we also have performers. So it's in our nature that we perform. I mean, our show is just like volunteers. We are not professional dancers. The best part of the show, I would say, I cannot choose which one's the best. They're all best because we perform with our heart, you know? Performance should be with heart. That's why. So it's like we're showcasing our folk dances with our hearts.
Today's show was great. It was very eye-opening. الperformance كان بجد تحفة. وانا اصلا I know one of the performers very well, Nova, who just spoke, because I've been friends with her daughter for a very long time. We went to school together. I've always been interested in Filipino culture. It's beautiful. والناس بجد they're very very nice, very fun to talk to. I feel like they're very similar to Egyptians in a lot of ways. والشو بجد كان رائع. Definitely similarities would be we love to dance. نفس الفكرة in terms of dancing, with colored costumes, with singing, very grand, very beautiful, very spectacle. It's more about a group working together than it is one person. Most similarity, I would say, would come in the costumes, مثلا. In terms of the dance, I felt it was eye-opening because it was very different from Egyptian dance. I've seen shows at the Opera هنا قبل كده that were Egyptian shows, but I've never in my life seen a Filipino folk dance show. It was very different, but at the same time similar in terms of they work together. It's very high energy. It's very joyful dancing. The costumes are beautiful colors. All the accessorizing, the flowers, and the set, and just everything. And the fact that they tied in the Ramadan aspect with it, with some of the decor, was very beautiful.
Today's performance was very interesting. I loved all the dances and the singing. I love how they related it to the Ramadan aspect of this month. And it was certainly very eye-opening and diverse. They showed different performances of different regions in the Philippines, and I think that was very interesting. There are multiple common things between Egyptians and Filipinos. They're both very family-oriented people. They're both very lively and vibrant people. So indeed, we share many similarities. There are lots of common aspects of the arts as well, whether it's performing arts or dancing or singing, and the use of color as well. They definitely love vibrant colors and are very lively people.
On the occasion of 75 years of Egyptian-Filipino relations, the Cairo Opera House, in cooperation with the Filipino Embassy, held this celebration. This is Abby Gindi for the Cultural Magazine at the Opera House.
As you walk into the streets of Cairo or any governorate here in Egypt, you can see the history and stories behind every building and every monument in this country. Let's go find out more about this history.
The head of the National Organization for Civilizational Coordination and the Italian ambassador to Egypt and the director of the Italian Cultural Institute inaugurated the exhibition of the innovations of Italian architects in Egypt. The exhibition is held by the National Authority for Urban Coordination and Cooperation with the Italian Embassy in Egypt on the occasion of the celebration of the World Heritage at El Hanagir Art Center at the Opera House. The Italian architectural works have a clear impact on Egyptian urbanism, which reflects the extent to which the Egyptian culture was influenced by the Italian and their merging with each other. Italian architects left their imprint on the palaces, the most important of which were the Muntaza Palace and Rossettine in Alexandria by the architect Ernesto Frucci, the Islamic Museum in Bab al-Khalq by the architect Alfonso Mazzicalo, as well as the Abu Rish Hospital, the Italian School in Alexandria, the Irrigation Monument of Alamein, as well as other distinguished architectural buildings. They also had a clear impact on the most distinct mosques that are a milestone in Egyptian architecture and history, such as Omar Makram Mosque in Tahrir and Commander Ibrahim, and Mursi Abu al-Abbas in Alexandria, in which the Italian architecture was influenced by Islamic and Mamluk architecture and resulted in this combination. A distinct and unique architectural figure for the most important buildings of a distinct architectural character that deserves study and documentation, including the Institute of Arab Music, Prince Yusuf Kamal Palace, Princess Na'matullah Tawfiq Palace, and many distinguished buildings. These buildings were documented by the Civilization Coordination Authority through this exhibition and issued a book in which the documentation and preservation of these buildings is the result of in-depth study and research. It is an observation of the Egyptian-Italian experience that blended and resulted in a constructed urban culture full of beauty and distinct urban pattern that deserves to be studied and documented. The exhibition was attended by many public figures, media professionals, architects, and the Italian community who expressed their great admiration for the exhibition. Due to the high demand for the exhibition by architects, researchers, and architectural students who requested that the exhibition be made available for a longer period of time than it was shown in the Hanager Center, what made the Civilization Coordination depict the exhibition in 3 dimensions to make the exhibition available on the body's official page so that those interested can visit it electronically.
This brings us to the end of this episode of Cultural Magazine. Hope you enjoyed it and stay tuned for more on Nile TV.